Hey, off with the music, on with the talking. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Minutes with Milo show, show 88, about the Duck Billed Platypus. It's strange I ended up here with that topic. How, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm about to tell you. Thought about doing a show tonight on what living animals were closest to the dinosaur. And so I started checking into those things. Started looking at some of the attributes, if you want to call it that, of the dinosaur and things that were like it. Of course, egg laying is one. Then, of course, I was like, what that duck-billed platypus do? Man, that thing lays eggs. But it's a mammal. It's not a reptile. Not an amphibian. It's not a bird. It's not any of those things. So that kind of started changing my focus a little bit. And I did some research. And I said, yeah, I mean, this guy's wild and crazy. We got to look at this. So that's how I came about tonight's Duck Billed Platypus show. And I think it's pretty interesting. Some of the things I've read, looked at, I don't know. There's probably thousands of creatures that I know nothing about that are probably in their own rights just as strange. And a few of them you could probably, go see. One of the things that, houses some of the most strangest is the sea. Deep down, way down in there. I know those aren't considered animals. Let's just call them living creatures. They're creatures. Like you're a creature, me a creature, platypus is a creature. You know what I mean. I'm not all that scientific, so we'll call them creatures. But I don't think I'd ever get down there to see one. But I could go to Australia and can see a platypus in the wild. I've been to Florida and saw a manatee in the wild. So, manatees are different. Maybe one night I'll do a show on the manatee. Maybe. Why not? Duck-billed platypus. Lots of things to know about the duck-billed platypus, but here are some of the top ones that I find very interesting. It's got a beaver-like tail. Go to the other end, it's got a bill like a duck. All right? In between that, there's webbed feet like a duck, but it's got claws like maybe a beaver or any other clawed animal, raccoon, or I don't think it has thumbs, but you know what I mean. And something weird, the males have a ankle spur like chickens have a spur, except for the male platypus, it's a way to inject venom. That's right. The male platypus has a way to defend itself. Robert says, one of the strongest creatures on earth. He's talking about the platypus or the ant? The little itty bitty ant that can lift like 5,000 times its own weight in gold. But the duck-billed platypus male has venom. And we'll look at that. Where we're going to look? Come on. You know my favorite spot. And it's just so convenient. It's not my favorite spot. But it's just so convenient because if you do a search on duck-billed platypuses, then Wikipedia is going to pop up, and they're going to have pictures, and they're going to have little links that you can follow. And I believe it. Every single word of it got to be true. Strange. EST? Strangest. Strangest. Dang, spell check. So, let's go on a little journey with the Duck Billed Platypus. And we're going to share a screen. This is all a Wikipedia. Oh, yeah. Something else I forgot. And you know this. Select the window. Wait a minute. I can't talk. Hold on. You know I am not the best reader. I'm not scientific. So all these foreign names and stuff, if it's not John, Paul, Mick, and Joan, then I might have trouble pronouncing. So we'll probably butcher a bunch of this stuff. But the duck-billed platypus, we're going through some of its attributes, some of its physical characteristics. It is electrolocation capable, I guess, along with visual, which allows it to find its prey. That is like not sound wave sonar, but electrical style sonar. And we'll look at that in a minute. Did I mention they lay eggs and they have a nest? So this little creature is just really out there, and it's a mammal. It's semi-aquatic, like a beaver. Beavers are semi-aquatic. Muskrat, otter, they don't live in the water, but they really, really like it in the water. So I would just say he's aquatic, man. He's in the water probably all the time. All right, let's look at this guy. Let me get this picture up. Now, my drawing is by no means a good drawing. You know that. I do those things for a couple of reasons. My little whiteboard drawings, I do it because number one thing, I can put on here kind of what I want. And it's not copyrighted. I did this. I did this. So if I put it out there on the internet, nobody's going to call and say, oh, by the way, you owe me $10,000 because you used my underwater picture of the duck-billed platypus from when I took it back in the '79 photo Olympics in Australia. And, yeah, you owe me money. That will never happen. I make my stupid drawings. I put them out there. They tell a story. And some of them are pretty good. There's not a good one amongst them that I can tell right now. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, I want to show you some good pictures of the duck-billed platypus. And here we go. This guy, and I assume this is a worm because that's partly what they eat, are worms. They eat crawfish, they eat freshwater shrimp, they eat all kinds of good stuff like that. So pretty much anything swimming in the water that's alive, I would assume they eat. So this is kind of a funny picture. Let's see if we can make this one big. No, we cannot make that one big. Here we go. Well, yes, we can make that one big. You know what I find? One of the things I find funny about this picture is it looks like a turtle. Have you ever seen a mud turtle? When they lay out, they're all brown and, their shell's more round than this. But you know what I mean? It's just kind of flat with their legs are out to the side like that. Another thing I find funny about this is if you were to quick glance, which is the head and which is the tail. So, not really paying attention, it might take you a quick second look to figure out, which is the head and which is the tail. But look at his feet. His feet are all webbed, almost like the side fins of a fish. If they had, the side fins of the fish they have that bones that come out that make the fin, the shape of the fin, and then in between that is the membrane, whatever that's made out of. So these look like that, except the structure of the fin would stick out like a fingernail, and this guy's got claws. Now I don't know male or female, whatever, but they look wispy like a fish fin, his little side fins. Oh, they're kind of like the backs of the fish that have the spines that stick up. The sail fin, whatever you want to call that. That's kind of what their feet remind me of, because they do have claws on them. So there's a dude swimming and eating a worm. And you look at these pictures, and the bill of this, there's those spurs on the back side. Now, they actually have glands in there, and they're hollow, and I guess they just, kicks you and sticks you. We'll read about that. Oh, look at the little babies. But the bill on these look like you just stuck it on there. Like you had this hollow, flat, duck bill looking thing, and you grabbed up this poor animal and just shoved that thing on the end of his nose and said, bah, there you go. Now you got a duck bill. It doesn't look like it's part of them, really. It does look like, and some of these pictures are even more so, because it's, the bill is, I'm sure, rigid, and it's smooth, like a duck's bill. And then when it comes across, looks like a shoehorn. Clell's here, kind of looks like a shoehorn. And when it hits the forehead, it goes all the way up to the forehead, and the eyes are wide spaced. Then the next thing you have is fur. So it's really very strange, and the nostrils are up near the end. Really, really weird. Now, let's get over to unlock exclusive content. Oh no, what's going on? All right, Wikipedia. And they go through here and they talk about all these other things. So it is just commonly known as the Duck Billed Platypus, but technically it's just the platypus. Semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal, endemic to east. That means that's where it lives. I had to look up some of these words. Endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania. The platypus is the sole living representative or monotypic taxon of its family. And I can't say that word. It's one of those scientific words. And its genus, another scientific word. Though a number of related species appear in fossil records. So, together with the 4 species of Echidna, okay, I can't say it. But anyway, this is one thing I like about Wikipedia. So I hovered over the link. These animals, sometimes known as spiny anteaters, are quill-covered monotremes belonging to the family such and such. The 4 extant means they're still living. I'm sorry. They're still living species. And the platypus are the only living mammals that lay eggs and the only surviving members of the order of Monotremata. Okay? So I didn't realize there was other mammals really that laid eggs. But this spiny anteater also does it because it's the same kind of, you know, I guess belongs to the same family. But maybe somewhere in junior high or elementary school or something like that, I knew these facts. Not anymore. Not anymore. So I found that interesting that, you know, there are other egg-laying mammals out there. All right. Mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young, like other monotremes, it senses prey through echolocation. It is one of the few species of venomous mammals, as the male platypus has a spur on the hind foot that delivers venom. All right. It's capable of causing severe pain to humans. So we'll go down here in a minute and look at some of these other attributes of it. So it says the unique features of the platypus make it an important subject in the study of evolutionary biology. And I don't see, and is recognizable and iconic symbol of Australia. It's culturally significant to several Aboriginal people of Australia who also used to hunt the animal for food. It has appeared as a mascot at national events and features on the reverse of the Australian 20-cent coin. The platypus is the animal emblem of the state of New South Wales until the early 20th centuries. Humans hunted the platypus for its fur, but it is now protected throughout the range. Like beaver. Has fur like beaver. And if it's semi-aquatic, you know that stuff's like super duper water repellent. But it's an important subject in the study of evolutionary biology. I listen to Joe Rogan, and I listen to a guy talking about the origin of the universe and stuff like that. And one of the things that I took away from that podcast was even in the vast universe, even in the millions and millions of years that supposedly have transpired just on Earth, the possibility that everything came together perfectly for something like a duck-billed platypus to have the bill of a duck, the tail of a beaver, the clawed webbed feet like a duck or a beaver. It lays eggs. It has echolocation. I just don't see how that's possible, really, without an intelligent being designing and implementing that particular animal. I just don't see how it could ever be possible. Natural selection, yeah. I get that. That if my arms are longer, then I can reach taller branches and get the best fruit. You know, that means I can eat from the lower and the next upper branches. And if I have long legs and long arms, then guess what? I get the low, medium, and the higher branches. So yeah, I get natural selection. I just can't see where a mammal starts laying eggs and has a duck bill. And then, oh, that makes him better than everything else. I just don't see it. But anyway. It talks about where they are in Australia. Taxonomy and naming. Let's just forget about that. So, this David Collins' account of the new colony in 1788 to 1801, he describes coming across an amphibious animal of the mole species. His accounts include the drawing of the animal. The body and the broad, flat tail of the platypus are covered with dense, brown, biofluorescent fur that straps a layer of insulating air to keep the animal warm. The fur is waterproof and the texture akin to that of a mole. It says here the platypus uses its tail for storage of the fat reserves. Huh. It talks about their teeth. I don't know about their teeth. Venom. Both male and female platypuses are born with the ankle spurs. Only the spurs on the male's back ankles deliver venom. Composed largely of defensin-like proteins, 3 of which are unique to the platypus. The proteins are produced in the immune system of the platypus. So even though the females, and we'll look at it here later, they have the spurs when they're born, but after their first year, they fall off or go away, however you want to say that. But they never produce the venom. Only the males produce the venom, and then their spurs stay with them. It says, although powerful enough to kill smaller animals such as dogs, I'm going to guess, I don't know how small, but, the platypus doesn't eat. I wouldn't think it would eat anything much bigger than, like it said in here, the freshwater shrimp, worms, that kind of stuff. It'd never eat a mouse or something that it could spur and kill with the venom and then eat it. So that's why they say, I'm pretty sure, that the venom is just defensive. Can kill smaller animals such as dogs. The venom is not lethal to humans, but the pain is so excruciating that the victim may be incapacitated. Edema rapidly develops around the wound and gradually spreads throughout the affected limb. Information obtained from case histories and anecdotal evidence indicate the pain develops into a long-lasting hyperalgesic that persists for days or even months. And hyperalgesic means it's a heightened sensitivity to pain for days or even months. So not good. Not good. Like, venom of it's a spider. The damn big ones. I can't think of Mexican redleg. I had a Mexican redleg spider. Tarantula. Thank you very much, brain. Finally kicking in. They're not deadly to a human. I guess anything you can be allergic to could kill you, but as a general rule, they're not. Same way here. It hurts like a mother. The venom appears to have a different function. Its effects are not life-threatening to humans, but nevertheless powerful enough to seriously impair the victim. Since only males produce the venom and production rises during the breeding season, it may be used as an offensive weapon to assert dominance during this period. So, if it's powerful enough to kill small animals like dogs, would it kill another platypus? It seems like that would be a question worth answering here in nice Wikipedia, right? Because it says, since only males produce venom and production rises during breeding season, when you might be fighting for a mate, right? It may be used as an offensive weapon to assert dominance over what? Other platypuses during this period. So, would it kill another platypus? If you're going by sheer size, yeah. Because they're pretty small creatures. Smaller than dogs, and they said it would kill a dog. But it is a platypus. So maybe they have, built-in defenses against the venom that they and other platypuses produce. Which would only make sense, right? So if a rattlesnake bites another rattlesnake, does it kill that rattlesnake? I don't know. Does it? Electrolocation. Now this is what they talked about here. And I talked about it wasn't like sonar because sonar is sound. But I believe it operates in the same way. Mono, it's this damn word again. Can we just show me how to pronounce that? Monotremes are mammals of the order of Monotremes. Okay, let's just call it monotremes, okay? Are the only mammals, apart from at least one species of dolphin, known to have a sense of electroreception. They locate their prey in part by detecting electric fields generated by muscular contractions. How sensitive does it have to be to pick up the muscle contractions of a worm? Do worms even have muscles? Or a freshwater shrimp? Or a crawfish? How is that even possible? Platypus electroreception is the most sensitive. His is the most sensitive of the monotremes. The electroreceptors are located in rows in the skin of the bill, while mechanoreceptors, which detect touch, are uniformly distributed across the bill. Electrosensory area of the cerebral cortex is contained within the tactile area, and some cortical cells receive input from both electroreceptors and mechanical receptors, suggesting a close association between the tactile and electrical senses. So maybe it's not like I shoot those out into the water and then they come back to me. It might be so that if I'm right on top of this thing, if I can touch it, I get a double sense of touch, and if it's super duper close, the electro sense, suggesting close association between the two. Both electroreceptors and mechanical receptors in the bill dominate some kind of map of the platypus's brain, in the same way human hands dominate the pin-filled homunculus map, something. I don't know. So if you can see this picture, let's bring it up biggerty-diggerty. 40,000 receptors in stripes on the bill, running from tip of the nose back towards the eyeballs. Platypus turns head in saccades to locate prey. Best accuracy is outwards and downwards. Muscles of the prey create small electrical signals. So he swings his head side to side, and if it's out in front of him and down below his bill, that's where he has his best reception. But still, that's amazing. It's amazing. The platypus can determine the direction of an electrical source, perhaps by comparing differences in signal strength across the sheet of electroreceptors. This would explain characteristic side-to-side motion of the animal's head while hunting. So yeah, if you're trying to find it, like turning your head, listening with your ears, you kind of get that sense of where something is by, you're receiving stereo signals with your ears. Feeding by neither sight nor smell, the platypus closes its eyes and ears and nose each time it dives. Rather, when it digs in the bottom of the streams with its bill, its electroreceptors detect tiny electrical currents generated by muscular contractions of its prey, so enabling it to distinguish between animate and inanimate objects, which continuously stimulate the mechanical receptors. Experiments have shown the platypus will even react to an artificial shrimp if a small electric current is passed through it. Well, isn't that interesting? So it doesn't open its eyes in the water while it's swimming. The platypus closes its eyes, ears, and nose each time it dives. Well, how in the devil does it close its nose? Because those little nostrils are on the end of its bill. I just don't see how it would have now ears, okay, eyes, yes. So let's talk about the eye. In recent study has been suggested that the eyes of the platypus are more similar to those of the Pacific hagfish or northern hemisphere lepres. lampreys, lampreys, lampreys. Yeah. Than those of most pteropods. The eyes also contain double cones, which most mammals do not have. More stuff. Although the platypus's eyes are small and not used underwater, several features indicate that vision played an important role in its ancestors. The corneal surface of the adjacent surface of the lens is flat, while the posterior surface of the lens is steeply curved, similar to the eyes of other aquatic mammals such as otters and sea lions. I'm going to try to read this. A temporal or ear side concentration of retinal ganglia cells important to binocular vision indicates a role in predation, while the accompanying visual acuity is insufficient for such activities. So, I mean, it doesn't hunt by sight. Furthermore, this limited acuity is matched by a low chordal magnification, a small lateral genital nucleus, and a large optic tectum, suggesting that the visual midbrain plays a more important role than the visual cortex, as in some rodents. This feature suggests that the platypus has adapted to an aquatic and nocturnal lifestyle, developing electrosensory system. So is it like nearsighted, I guess? Huh. Diet: it feeds on worms, freshwater shrimp, freshwater yabby, or crayfish. It digs out of the riverbed and a snout and catches while swimming. It uses cheek pouches to carry prey to the surface where it is eaten. Platypus needs to eat about 20% of its own weight each day, which requires it to spend an average of 12 hours daily looking for food. Wow, that dude does nothing but, swim and try to eat. So reproduction, the species exhibits a single breeding season. Mating occurs between June and October. Some local variation taking place. They have a polynomous mating system. Females are thought likely to become sexually mature in their second year, with breeding confirmed still to take place in animals over 9 years old. Outside of breeding season, the platypus lives in a simple ground burrow. So she digs a nest, lays, let's see, during the second phase, the digit develops. In the last phase, the egg tooth appears. Oh, there's a skeleton. Man, that's crazy. It's got a pretty good sized rib cage. What are these things behind its head? That's kind of crazy. I guess it's its shoulder. Ooh, there's your cape made out of it. Let's go back to that one where the skeleton was. See, those his clavicles there? Right behind his head looks like a hood. Wildlife sanctuaries. Captivity. As of 2019, the only platypuses in captivity outside of Australia are in the San Diego Zoo Safari Park in the U.S. 3 attempts were made to bring the animal to the Bronx Zoo in 1922, 47, and 58. Of those, only 2 of the 3 animals introduced in 47 lived longer than 18 months. Huh. Wow. So they don't travel well. Very specific kind of animal. Yeah, the skeleton looks prehistoric. Of course, I mean, I still can't figure out what that thing is behind their head. I mean, it looks really large in the picture. And to me, it doesn't really serve a purpose, but if you look at the animal, I know these are just pictures. Let's see that. You don't really, because I'm sure its skull is here, and those things are right in here, but that's, you think that's its shoulder blade? Because here's its shoulder, and elbow, and then its wrist. Man, look at that. I wish you could spin that thing around. But you can't. But you can't. Let's go back here and look at some more pictures. Maybe if we did a skeleton. Oh, skeleton. See, whoa. Well, that's too close. That's pretty cool. I'll let you do that. See, that's just too close. You can't really tell what that is. Well, here's one kind of from the side. Look at that. Well, you can't really zoom in on it. You're a bum. You're a bum. Oh, top view. Huh. Man, I guess. But see how close this comes into the skull right there? That's just, I don't know. That's another one kind of crazy is it's split. The bill is split in two. Hmm. That's a funky looking tail. It looks like the leaf of a fern on the green ferns. Hmm. Definitely looks like a rat this way. The skeleton sideways like that. Looks like a rat. Ooh, nasty rats. Body roll animation. Huh. All right. We learned something tonight. Beaver, duck, mammal. Yep. Future wings. I think it's yeah. I don't know, like a protective hood like deal. I don't. Who knows? But it'd be kind of cool to see one. Wouldn't want to be stuck by one. So we learned a little bit about the duck billed platypus. It wasn't my, well, it was my first choice once I started thinking about it. So I still want to do one on, this, what is the closest, when I was doing research for things that are living today, that are close to dinosaur, there's 9 things that they listed. And some of them I agree with, and some of them I have questions about. I won't say I disagree with them. I've got questions about them. So maybe we'll do that on Thursday, look at the difference or the similarities between things living now and what they know about the dinosaurs or what they think they know about dinosaurs. But the platypus was very interesting because it's, It's all things rolled into one almost. If it could fly, yep, like the future wings, yeah, man, it could be like all animals rolled into one. But I appreciate everybody showing up. Got to get somebody to call in one day. I keep forgetting about this thing. It sits over here, and I keep forgetting it's out there. Robert says chicken. We'll talk about chickens. Some of them are obvious and some of them not so obvious. But they come up with 9. So we'll see. They come up with 9. All right. So I haven't put out a new podcast. Got to put out another podcast here soon. I did put out a new cooking video. Did it Saturday, put it out on Sunday. It is related to my last show on Thursday about where things have gone and what you did with them, what I did with them. So look at that. Give it a like, thumbs up, leave me a comment. As always, I appreciate everybody that subscribes. Tell your friends, people. Let's see if we can break 100 subscribers. We're at 94. That's only 6 more, right? Even in county boy math, that's only 6. It's more fingers than I got on one hand. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, still more fingers than I got on one hand. So, tune in Thursday. Maybe we'll talk about something else. Maybe we'll talk about what's close to a dinosaur and go from there. I appreciate everybody. And if you're watching this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next year, I appreciate it. All right. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.